Guys, this is the keg. First of all, let's hear from Matt, who's helping us out for us. Matt! Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, guys, this is the kegging area here at Lakefront Brewery. Now, this is actually a very sad time for us here at Lakefront Brewery. This is where all you guys go, aww. And this is where all the ladies come up behind me. It's so sad. They want to console me just a little bit. A little creepy. All right. And the reason it's a sad time for us, guys, is we've recently switched over to a new style of kegging. The reason that makes it sad is there's actually a fifth ingredient in beer that I forgot to tell you about. That fifth ingredient is love. Right now, who wants it? No, it's okay. And the reason it makes it sad, guys, is the new style of kegging actually prohibits love from kegging your beer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain how we keg our beer today, then I'm going to explain how we used to keg our beer. When you find out how we used to keg our beer, you'll be relieved there's no more love in your beer. All right, now, kegs come back to us empty, which is good for two reasons. First and foremost, it means that people are enjoying lakefront beer. Whole reason we get into this racket. All right, second reason we dig empty kegs is that way people got to buy more beer here at the brewery. If they're buying beer, that means they're spending money. If they're spending money, that means I can get a check at the end of the month. I know what you're thinking, Kurtzy, they pay you for this gig? Yes, they pay me for this gig. All right, a wee tiny amount, okay? But what I lack in my paycheck, I do make up for, and the perks I take with me, if you want to talk about cheers. Now this right here, guys, is the new style of keg, ready? Oh my goodness! I'm talking with Chris, our kegging guy. He keeps leaving these full, heavy kegs, ladies, in the empty kegging area, but don't worry, ladies, I'm very strong. I can handle these full, heavy kegs, but I will have to have a talk with Chris, our kegging guy, about leaving these full, heavy kegs in the empty kegging area, ladies. So keeping on top here is the Sankey ball stop. This is a high pressure keg. Very little I can do to get beer in or out of this keg all by myself. All right, I'm going to need the aid of one of these machines right back here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take an empty keg, I'm going to flip it upside down and position it just so over the nipple. Kurtzy said nipple. Then I'm going to turn that machine on, and here goes 1930s technology takes over. That plate will lower, forcing the keg down onto that nipple. He said the kid, right? And on that nipple, there's a little post that's going to push the ball stop out of the way. Once the ball stop has been put, what are you guys, 12? Once the ball stop has been pushed out of the way, the machine is going to drain any remaining beer from that keg. The machine is then going to rinse out that keg. The machine is then going to sterilize that keg. The machine is then going to pump that keg full of CO2, pushing out all the oxygen we can. Oxygen is the enemy of your beer. Then the machine is going to pump that keg full of beer. One final spritz of CO2, push up any remaining oxygen, that plate will raise, keg's ready. Take the keg around the corner, put it in the BAC, stands for big cooler. The Kurtzy, what about the A? Same thing in the silos, okay? No love can get in your beer via this system right here, okay? Absolutely impossible for us to get love in your beer via this system. All right, now this right here is the old style of kegging. Oh my goodness, you think these old kegs are empty? I just ruined it by the rabbit, didn't I? Okay, but on top here, guys, is the Hoff Stevens style of keg. This is a low pressure keg, right? This little Dracula-mite system, a little bit of air in one hole, a little bit of beer out the other. That's how these babies work. Again, low pressure. If we were to hook this keg up to a high pressure device, we would all be leaving with souvenir chunks of keg embedded in our flesh, okay? Yeah, not near as cool as a pint glass we're gonna send you home with, all right? So in order to get at the beer, clean the keg, put more beer in the keg, we would have to remove this little wooden device. Does anyone know what we call this little wooden device? Bung. The bung! That is correct, B-U-N-G, bung, which would make the hole in the keg that the bung fits into the bung hole. The bung hole. That is correct. The rest of these jokes will write themselves. Okay, now, we get these kegs back, we have to take a machine called the debunger. It's a very scary looking machine, and actually the way it handled business, we should have called it the Bung Destroyer, but that scared away a lot of chicks. So if the machine had a sharp auger that would spin very fast, we position the keg just underneath that auger. It would start spinning, we would take a handle, and we would jam that auger into the bung, and then we'd rip it from the bung hole. Not comfortable, ladies, from what I've been told, okay? And it's at this point when I was kegging beer, I used to come downstairs here and I would dim the lights. I would light some candles, put on a little Barry White music, you know, because I'm going to get to know this keg in just a minute or two if you know what I'm getting at, all right? Now, we used to have this bathtub set up back here. I would draw a nice hot bath I would sprinkle in some rose petals, you know, because I like to be romantic. And I know you're thinking to yourselves, Kurtzy, the place to dump and it smells like a zoo. How romantic can you be? But you'd be amazed, ladies, with the hot bath and the rose petals and the very white music and the candles. Maybe drape a scarf over the lamp, you know what I'm talking about. I can work some magic down here. We don't worry about it, okay? But I would take the keg, I would set it all gentle lock into that tub. I would take some of that lavender soap. The ladies love that lavender soap. And I would start to scrub that keg, all right? I would take my time with that keg, ladies. And I would get to know that keg, ladies, if you know what I'm getting at. I would even clean out inside the bung hole, you know, because I care, okay? And then we used to have this S&M rack looking thing set up over here where we would strap the keg in, leave the bung hole exposed, feeling quite vulnerable. And at this point we would take a probe and we would penetrate the bung hole with that probe using little to no lubrication in that process. Now once the probe had penetrated and fully inserted into that bung hole, that probe would release its payload inside the keg, all right? I don't know what you guys are giggling about over here. You're at a brewery. What do you think its payload's going to be, you filthy pervert? We then remove the probe, leave the keg very satisfied. Now that whole process took a minute and a half to 2 minutes. So ladies, you know what kind of time frame we're dealing with, right? She stopped laughing all of a sudden. And at this point, we would take a fresh bung. I just happen to have one here in my pocket. And this device here, does anyone know what we call this device? I heard it back here. Was it?
Well, yeah, bung whacker.
The bung whacker. This ain't your first rodeo, is it? You must feel so special right now. But yes, it is a bung whacker. And if you don't believe me, walk down to your local Ace Hardware, ask for a 5-pound bung whacker. This will do this going to hand you. All right. Now we can separate the men from the boys real easy like that. Okay, I see a lot of dudes come walking down here, chests all puffed out, bowling ball shoved down in front of their pants, wearing like some dark blue zip-up hoodie sweatshirt, you know what I mean? $5 haircut, maybe like, you know, black Converse All-Stars with white laces. Not the black laces, but those are cool, right? I'm just kidding. I do like it's a cool looking echo. So. Give me that bung whacker. I know what I'm doing. Okay, then get ready down here with the bung whacker. Oops, I missed. Is that it? Hold on. I think that's in there. Hold on a second. Well, it's kind of dark down here. Hard for you to see what I'm doing, you know. But I'm pretty sure that's in there. If you just give me a second here, I'll get it. Oh, grab onto it. I've got it. Okay. Give me a second. You know, the music and the candles are putting some pressure on me. Again, some ladies, you know what we're dealing with, right? But I'm guessing another 10 years, he'll figure it out. Right now, once down here, properly inserted in the bungle, we take the cake distribution center, awaiting your drinking pleasure. Now. At this point of the tour, that I like to make one of you lucky ladies my queen for the tour, all right? But I'm gonna let you guys decide what type of queen we want. Do we want a cold, sterile, mechanized, no love filled, fellas, might I add, ball-stopping Sankey queen? Or do we want the warm, tender, rubbed up in the tub, Barry White listening to love-filled ball queen? All right, so I'm gonna count to 3, and you guys are gonna shout. Sankey queen, oh, or bung queen. All right, here we're going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Bung queen. Yeah, bung's absolutely having it. And sweetheart, I see you back here, and I see the way you look at me all afternoon. And quite frankly, you're on a date with some dude on TV. You should not be looking at me that way. But you are really bung queen for our tour, baby. What's your name? Well, I'm sorry. Cynthia. Cynthia, Jimmy, Cynthia, bung queen, Cynthia. Do you live here now? Yeah. Just whisper the address. And then tell them. Oh my goodness, she just put her tongue on it. Right now, when you get back home tonight, remembering how much fun you had here at the brewery, and especially tonight when you're getting into bed, all toasted warm underneath them covers, remembering, my goodness, that tour guide was handsome. Just remember that my hands have been all over your bum.